I'm on the treadmill and I see the commercial for House of the Dragon. I'm like, oh, that show's coming up. I can't wait to see it. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. That's that ghetto family. How did they lose all that power? Let me think about that. Oh, that's right. This reminds me of black families. Like when we're fighting each other with all this trauma and all this other stuff, we don't understand what we're losing. See, you don't understand. I need you to really process and become financially conscious of how many trillions of dollars in black wealth gets lost just because people can't stop fighting each other. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, you need to understand, like, before we get to talk about reparations and the white man did it and all the yeah, he did it. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did it. If you come to Powernomics training on Wednesday nights, you will know that there are documented cases where they specifically created laws to divide you. They with Willie Lynch full effect. That's all it was designed to do was divide you because they know that if I can divide you, then I can take everything you got. So so I'm just saying to you that when you're talking about wealth and economics, I would encourage you to just to think about investing as deeper than just, I'm gonna go to school or and get a degree. Like it's got to go deeper than like I hope I get a good job and I hope Mr. Charlie pays me good money. It's got to be deeper than just, I'm gonna put money in my 401k or I'm gonna really save 10% of my paycheck. Like that's great. I think that's wonderful. But when you're doing that, what you're doing is you're limiting your financial vocabulary because you're only speaking a wealth language that only involves money. And that is one of the biggest mistakes in wealth that there is. One of the biggest mistakes in wealth, and this connects deeply to financial consciousness, is most people think that wealth is mostly about money. Wealth and money are two different things. Money is like this. Wealth is this. Wealth is massive. Money's like a little tiny, neighborhood. Wealth is like the whole state of Illinois, right? Wealth goes so much further than just money. So when you are in these situations where you're trying to figure out what do I invest in? Where do I make my next investment? And I get it. One thing you're going to come and ask me about are like, what stock should I buy? Um, maybe you ask me about taxes, or maybe you ask me about credit scores, or and all those things matter. But really, my other thing I would want you to consider is simple ideas like this, like maybe investments in things like conflict resolution can be financially beneficial to you. Like maybe when we're talking about our kids, and I just hate these public schools because they destroy so many of our children, especially the boys. I could go on a tangent on that. I'm not going to do that, but it almost destroyed me. That's why I have an issue with the public schools. But anyway, maybe conflict resolution. If you think about how much wealth could be created if people approach conflict differently, just how much wealth would be created if every time you and I got mad at each other, our first reaction was, okay, let's sit down and talk about it and let's try to listen to each other. Like imagine if we did that instead of what they do on the west side of Chicago, which is we have a misunderstanding. My first reaction is to talk crazy about you, to escalate the conflict, and to show up at your grandma's house with an AK-47. That's what happens on the west side of Chicago. And that's why you see so much chaos and destruction. It's very hard to build wealth in a space like that where people are escalating conflicts. In fact, the Israelis, that's a criticism of the Israeli culture, is that there's a University of Chicago professor who said that the problem that the Israelis are having right now in Gaza is that the way they approach conflict is they always want to escalate. Because they want to dominate, right? The goal of escalation is domination. Like I'm going to keep going so high. I'm going to play a game of chicken with you. And I'm going to take it so far and so high. I'm going to take it so high up the mountain that the air is going to get thin. Eventually, you're going to fall off, and I'm going to dominate you because I'm going to show you that I'm willing to go further in this conflict than you. And I want you to really process that and think about people that you know who approach conflict with the same way. Oh, you crazy. I'm gonna show you crazy. Oh, you get over. Well, I'm from the hood. Oh, you gonna take it there? Okay, then. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. That sort of attitude where it's like the way I'm gonna resolve this conflict with you is I'm going to make it all about my ego and I'm gonna take it to the highest level I can possibly take it.